Hello Virgo, welcome to this reading. We are going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Virgo for the end of September. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Virgo, let's go ahead and get into this reading here for you. See what's coming forward for you as we take a look at the close of the month. Now, the timeline on this reading will be from September 22nd all the way until October 6th. And the reason I chose October 6th is that is the full moon in Aries. So let's go ahead and get all of the cards out here, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. All right. Cool. And I think that's looking just about good enough to me, Virgo. All right. Cool. Energy on the bottom. You have the Five of Pentacles. All right, so the Five of Pentacles may suggest at this time that you're feeling kind of like there's no hope, or some of you may feel like you're losing hope. The Five of Pentacles, it can represent financial change in one's life, you know? Financial and material changes, these sorts of things. Usually this is the negative side of a financial change, right? So it can mean some loss that may be going on in that area that you're kind of like dealing with at this time, okay? It also may just be simply, if that's not happening for you, which it won't be for everyone, it may just simply mean that some of you are searching for hope, sort of. Like there's a challenging situation that you're trying to kind of work through. And Virgo, let me tell you, this is definitely a very serious reading that we have here, but there are definitely some good signs as well that I see on the board, and we'll try to get the most positive message as possible for you in this reading, as I always try to do. Just something to note here, like, remember that this reading is dropping right around the eclipse, which, let me just confirm, I believe this is your eclipse. Yes, this is the solar eclipse, new moon partial solar eclipse in Virgo, which is happening on the 21st. And this reading should be dropping around the 20th, okay? So, you know, these readings so far have been heavy, and I'm expecting them to be heavy, as this is the final eclipse of the year. And for you in particular, this is your eclipse, okay? So you are sort of like being hit, like energetically, around this time, more than maybe other signs. Particularly, like, it could be, well, I'm not, you know, especially if you're like a rising sign, but any Virgo energy right now is, you know, whether it's your sun, moon, your rising, if you have Virgo energy in your chart, you're getting sort of hit by this in some respects. And so right now you may feel a little downtrodden, or you may feel like something happened here, okay? So let's really dive in and let's see what we can bring forward here. So with the Seven of Swords coming after the Five of Pentacles in this reading, this is a warning sign, okay? This is a warning sign with the Seven of Swords. This is like, if there's one card where something's like stolen, or something has been taken, or you've been sort of deceived by someone, or you know, a situation here, that would be the Seven of Swords, and it's combined here with the Five of Pentacles. It very well might mean that money was involved in this scenario. Now, I think that this could be a surprise as well. This could certainly be a surprise, as the Towers with the Seven of Swords. Now, I don't think that this is, how do I say this? This is already something that you are dealing with, okay? I don't necessarily think this is going to catch you by surprise. In other words, I think you are caught by surprise, okay? In other words, I'm not foretelling that this is happening. Instead, I'm foretelling that this is something you're currently dealing with. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so there's a very important kind of distinction there that I want to make as I look at these cards. So Seven of Swords, Five of Pentacles. Some of you very well might be in a financial situation where there's like a level of injustice here, or it's a bit challenging. Okay. You may also, if this is not financial, but you do have pentacles above and then on the bottom as well. If it's not financial, it just may mean that somebody caught you by surprise here. Okay, somebody caught you by surprise. And you're kind of looking at what's next. Let's try to look at more details here. So you have the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Swords, and you have the Nine of Swords. Okay, I think that this is a real opportunity to do some healing at this time. Okay, I think this is a real opportunity to do some healing. This middle row is all swords. Swords are sharp. Swords are a cutting energy. Swords represent communication. Okay, swords represent the law in tarot. And I think that some sort of communication went south for some of you. There was maybe a misunderstanding. There quite literally could have been a misdirection that happened here. Okay? I also think that it's possible that with the Knight of Swords here, some of you rushed into something too quickly. The Knight of Swords can represent that energy. Okay? And I think that there's some healing that's going around, that's going on right now. At around this time, okay, not only the fact that this is dropping on an eclipse, but also the fact that we're looking at this time between now and the 6th, which is a full moon in Aries. Okay, so this period of time is crucial. This window of time is crucial for you. And there is, I think, a base level, there's like a baseline issue here around trust that is showing up. Okay, and with the Seven of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, some of you may feel like, how can I ever trust again? Okay, whether this is romantic or not, we do have one Cups card. Let me just confirm that because I look at the cards very quickly when I put them out. Yeah, one Cups card. So that usually refers to your romance in the tarot. But if you look here, a lot of this is around your Pentacle situation as well. And with the Seven of Pentacles, in particular, in this row, the Seven of Pentacles represents your long-range money. Or in relationships, it can refer to a long-term committed situation as well. So we're talking somebody you want to go the distance with, or somebody you're already in a committed relationship with, right? And not only that, but it's the contemplation of what you're going to do going forward, okay? Because this person has grown the pentacles here in the field, and they're thinking about potentially taking their harvest or letting it grow further. And the idea is that there's an issue around trust here, because I think that some of you are embroiled in a bit of an unreal scenario that you're maybe even regretting. And now I think that this is making you look to the future and learn from something, okay? With the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. These are readings that I sometimes struggle with because I don't love these types of readings, but it's coming in, right? It's coming in. So I don't, the cards that come out are the cards that I read, okay? And I'm going to try to turn this into a positive scenario here, or at the very least give you some guidance on what to do with this. Lastly, with this this is kind of the card. These are the cards that are coming out for you right now. So, friendly reminder, as with every reading, if you're not resonating with this, or if this is something that you don't want to take on, you are free to stop watching. Okay, so this is also something I want to say, and I will not be upset about that. Okay, so because this reading is pretty deep. So, but if you're still here and you're sticking with me, let's continue. The Nine of Swords, there's some anxiety and fear around this. Okay, there's some anxiety and fear around this scenario. This person has their head in their hands, and I get the sense that there's a little bit of regret and guilt here about an action that was taken here very quickly, and you're now thinking about, wow, I can't believe I'm in this scenario. Now let's move forward. In the Two of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, in the middle you have the Two of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Tower. There's the realization that something didn't pan out the way you thought it would. And then also the realization that this is stemming back to a quick decision that was made here with the Knight of Swords in the past. Now remember, eclipses are cyclical, okay? So eclipse energy play out over a broader time horizon. So this is a scenario that may be dating back to a year ago, okay? Or even not so long ago. The previous eclipses, which would have been in March, right? With the Tower, it's shock and awe, and it is the collapse of a false belief that some of you may have taken on in your life. And I think that my guidance here for you is that this can be an opportunity, okay? This can be an opportunity to initiate and undergo some healing for yourself here, Virgo, so that a mistake like this doesn't happen again, or that you are careful about what you are sort of, the agreements that you are taking on. And I also think there is a baseline level of like mistrust that is going on here because of past scenarios, which I think is totally justifiable based on the cards that I'm seeing. Okay, totally justifiable. And this doesn't mean that you can't trust anyone ever again. Okay, and maybe this is the healing that is sort of being called on to look at and undergo at this time around this issue of trust. The Two of Pentacles indicates a change, okay, in the financial areas. I don't like the Two of Pentacles with the Five of Pentacles, okay? I don't like it because Two of Pentacles could be up or down. Usually when it's combined with, let's say, a Seven of Swords, a Tower, a Five of Pentacles, it could be down, okay? What's nice here, the silver lining is the Seven of Pentacles would suggest that you have something to fall back on, okay? Whether this is your job, this is the skills and the experiences that you've gained along the way. This is an asset or something that you have. Okay, so that is a silver lining here. But there's also a lesson that is being kind of learned within this reading. In the final column, you have the Ace of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Three of Wands. The Ace of Cups here, this is the gold in this reading. This is the good stuff. Okay, not only is it the Seven of Pentacles suggesting you may have something to fall back on, and also the contemplation of what's next, which I don't think is a bad thing, but you also hear you do have expansion and growth in front of you, okay? Right now, you're in the trenches, you're in the thick of things, changes are happening, changes are going on, you're maybe dealing with something that you learned here that was surprising, that caught you out of left field, so to speak, with the Tower and the Seven of Swords. All of that may be happening. And at the same time, the cards are suggesting that this is not the final story, okay? That there is something else to this picture that is looking very good. And that is found within the Three of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Three of Wands represents expansion and growth into something new, especially in this case with the Three of Wands and the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a beautiful new beginning that wants to emerge in your life. Now, unfortunately, in this reading, it feels like it's kind of coming after some need to cut your losses or realize that there was an action that was taken here that is not exactly, that was not beneficial, okay? I will say that. Knight of Swords, Seven of Swords, Five of Swords, a quick action or some sort of like event that happened that has led to some sort of like loss or something along those lines, okay? So that is happening, but at the same time, there's a change here that's going on that will look very good for you with the Ace of Cups, and this change will bring about some expansion into something that is most likely to be a much more optimal timeline for you, okay? Let's see if we can get a more positive message, and yes, I am releasing this video, I know. Some of you, when I get these types of readings, ask, like, why would you even release the video? And well, it's because I do believe that the cards are the cards for a reason, and I also think that there's somebody out here who could maybe benefit from a very real reading like this, okay? So that's kind of the justification there. I'm going to move into the clarifications portion. I'm going to pull some oracle cards, and then I'll also pull some tarot cards for you. All right, so if you're still with me, let's see how this sort of story unfolds here. On the bottom, you do have shadow. Wow, okay, yeah. Something in hiding or something that is hidden. Something from the shadows here. Yeah, this is definitely a strong energy of deception, or there was just something that you didn't have a clear picture on. You maybe you pushed or rushed into something without having all of the details. The details were hidden or cloudy in some respects here. Okay? And I think that this action, this rushing into something, happened already. Like this was maybe within the last year or previously. Now this is strong. You have the heart chakra and the sacral chakra. Okay, so these chakras in particular would connect to love, romance, sexual healing, sexual wounds, those sorts of things, sexuality. These sorts of things are absolutely on the table when you get the heart chakra and the sacral chakra. Okay, so there could be some healing in these energy centers, these energy wheels that are wanting to take place for you. Okay, a good way for the sacral chakra to heal that area is to actually assert yourself and set boundaries. Okay, the problem, if you have an unhealed or a wounded sacral chakra, you are not setting boundaries. You are boundaryless. Okay, you're letting people in all the time. Okay, and then the heart chakra as well is some sort of emotional wound here that is maybe on display. Now you then here have sacrifice and material harvest. Okay, so I like material harvest. That would be the 9 of Pentacles. Sacrifice would mean the Hanged Man. Definitely ready to embrace a change. Finally here, 5 of Cups, which is a emotional loss. All right, let's see here. I think I got the important cards there. Let's take a look at the tarot cards for you, okay? Virgo, I do appreciate you being here, especially if you're still with me. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And yeah, hope things are well for you. Okay, let's see here. Okay, you have Queen of Pentacles, you have Ace of Swords, and Strength card. All right. This is very good. This is a very good clarification here. I think that some of you are in the process of processing all of this, and you are just about there with the processing. Okay. What I mean by that is the Strength card, it represents courage, confidence, boldness, fortitude, the ability to overcome difficulties that are present in your life. And clearly, if you watch the first portion of this reading, there's very clearly some type of difficulty that's happening right now. If this is your timeline, if this is your reading, okay? And what the Strength card would suggest is that you possess all of the ability to handle this straight on, head on, take this head on and work through this. The Ace of Swords, it represents a breakthrough. You realize something here, that you realize the root cause of this scenario that you're in, okay? And I love that there are double aces, okay? So for me, this situation will turn around for you. It will, especially with the Strength card and the Ace of Swords. You'll have some sort of breakthrough in what you need to do, what path you need to take, what steps you need to take or undergo to, at the very least, heal this from happening again, or heal this scenario here. With the Queen of Pentacles, this is usually a trusted person or ally in one's life. Okay, this is somebody who can give you trustworthy advice. Maybe right now, it would be a good idea to talk to an advisor or talk to somebody who can give you an objective look at what is happening right now. You have this 9 of Pentacles again, Material Harvest, 9 of Pentacles. You have the Magician, and you have the 9 of Wands. Okay, so 9 of Wands, the way I've been looking at it recently is it's this idea of like, yeah, things are hard right now. You're in the trenches. Okay, things are hard right now and you are in the trenches, but it's very, very important that you do not give up. Okay, don't throw away everything because, I don't know, let's say you made a mistake, you know? We get to make a few of those, you know? And I think the idea here is that with this 9 of Wands, the end is closer than you may think. Okay, the end of this entire debacle that you may be involved in right now, the end is very close, okay? This situation is going to come to a close for you. And what's important here as well is you have these nines, okay? So material harvest 9 is the 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, you have the 999, right, number. But more importantly, 9s connect to you in the tarot. Also, if you take the shadow card, that's 18, 1 plus 8, 9, in numerology. So with this, 9s connect to you. This is your cross to bear, so to speak. This is your burden to solve. And right now it feels like some of you want to, how do I say this? Cut out you're done with the people influencing you on how to handle this, on how to solve this. You're kind of done with that. And I think there is kind of like a level of distrust here that Spirit is calling on you to look at and heal potentially. Yeah, for sure. With that 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles. Some of you may think, like, how can I trust ever again? Or these sorts of things. You can heal everything in life. You know, there are many things that, you know, that we go through, or at the very least, you have the opportunity to heal these sorts of like spiritual wounds or emotional wounds, I should say. You have the opportunity to heal anything emotionally or spiritually that you want to, right? And I think that this is one of these things that is coming up for review for you at this time. The Magician here, it represents manifestation. You know, it represents the ability to really take all of the tools, the skills, the talents, and the abilities that you have on the table and use those tools to manifest the outcome that you want for yourself. This is also an energy of communication, as the Magician is associated with Mercury. Okay? Let's see what else we have here. You have the Sun. I like to see that in a reading like this. You have the Page of Swords and you have the 6 of Wands. The Page of Swords, it represents delay, okay? There was a very clear setback here that you've been handling or you've been going through at this time with the Page of Swords and all of the other cards I've been talking about. Okay, I think you've taken a minute to gather yourself, to regroup, to process, to experience the feelings, to feel the feelings, to experience the emotions of the scenario. And I think you're ready to come at this with a game plan, okay? I think you're ready to come at this with some type of strategy to get out from this situation. Very clearly, something was hidden here with the 7 of Swords and the Shadow. Something came out of left field. It was a surprise. But Spirit is really wanting you to know that on the perimeter here, this is a very solvable issue. 7 of Pentacles, Sun, 6 of Wands, 3 of Wands, 9 of Swords, Strength. On the perimeter, and I threw the I forgot the Ace of Cups as well. Kind of like around the edge here or on the perimeter, this scenario is very solvable. Okay, this is a very fixable situation, albeit challenging. The Sun is the best card you want to find in a tarot reading. It really highlights the positive cards around it, you know, the positive aspects of cards around it. The 6 of Wands suggests victory. So my guidance here is there's something around healing a wound around trust, okay, that's coming up here, and also that absolutely the end is in sight, and this is not a time to throw everything away. You have the 5 of Wands. You're in a conflict right now, okay? You're in a conflict here. And the reason I say that this is primarily, like maybe even stemming from your own doing, and you know, please don't misconstrue this as me coming at you, but the reason I say that, with that Knight of Swords, you took an action in the past and now you're realizing that something happened here, is because we only have like one court card here, which is the Queen of Pentacles, I believe, right? We do have the Page of Swords. And so there may be a level of distrust here, but there was some that you have around something, but the feeling here is that there was a mistake that was made or there was a quick action that was taken and you're now in this scenario here, okay? And yeah, this is kind of like what's going on. it feels like. Let's see what else we have in the Kipper energies. There's also not a lot of threes in this reading. We have the Three of Wands that can indicate partnerships and alliances, but that kind of looks favorable right now with the Six of Wands. So you do have pathway. This may take 3 to 6 months to work through. This is part of your path. You know, this is part of your dharma here. You have courthouse. This could very, very well be a legal situation, Virgo. As you have all of these swords cards, you have official person, you have message of concern, and unexpected income. Could this be like a transaction that went south or sour? Possibly. You have house, message of concern, and courthouse. Very possible. I think that there's a little bit of like fighting for what you believe you earn, or what you've earned, or what you deserve here. Okay, fighting for this. Yeah. I think what I will do is, you do have Privileged Lady on the bottom. I think I will leave this right here. Deep reading, Virgo. Thank you so much if you made it all the way through this video. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.